You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Hey, and Merry Christmas to you guys. How you doing? Morning going okay?
Yeah.
Put him here Christmas Day like a trooper.
Oh, you're the best.
What?
You don't get paid overtime.
Danny Claus.
If you want to broadcast, you're going to pull a lot of holidays. That's just it's just the name of the game.
That's how it works.
I think my favorite, years ago, a local TV station showed up in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was working Christmas morning, and I was going to head to the cities right after the show. So there's a little news crew, camera guy, and a little reporter, and I love this question so much. So how do you feel about working on Christmas morning?
Yeah.
And I looked at her and literally said nothing. And they showed the clip with just my expression. And yeah, awesome.
So,
great to be here.
How do you feel working Christmas morning, Dan?
Well, and she was working too. It's like, how is this a question?
Yeah,
exactly.
How do you feel working Christmas?
Excuse me, reporter lady, you didn't bring a flask, did ya?
You're the one lugging around camera equipment.
No kidding. Humphrey Bogart born Christmas Day.
Oh, I did not know that.
Interesting. Isaac Newton.
I knew that.
Nobody fell down before he, discovered it. It was a real game changer. But most importantly, from Isaiah 9:6, for unto us a child is born, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
So
The big
happy
JC.
birthday, man.
Happy birthday to Jesus. That's one of the things that I thought was really cool. When I met Heidi and I started going to her family's celebrations, one of the things they did every year on New Year's Eve, like
Tell
at
her
midnight.
how
On Christmas
disappointed
Eve.
they were in her.
No, that would be
Eve.
Festivus. What did I say?
You said New Year's Eve.
I meant Christmas Eve. They would sing Happy Birthday to Jesus. I thought that was really
And
cool.
that was when we would.
And that's when they put Jesus in the manger.
Jesus wasn't in the manger until Christmas Eve.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
And that was really neat. I love that. That was so cool.
Yeah, and most theologians, according to the New Testament, kind of place the birth around 4 BC.
Yeah.
We're pretty much in agreement on that. So
Cool.
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Game changer. Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Well, very cool. Thank you for that update, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Get more
forget this. is
cool
gonna be-
stuff
Yeah,
throughout the
action
day.
packed. I actually ran into Ranger Dan.
Yeah, what in the world is he doing out there?
I did not expect to see him today.
Afraid to
so.
see. We will be chatting with him before you know it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
Want to save money? Take the BetterCreditCards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it can help you get a better credit card. Do it today. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I love to wrestle bears and lasso ducks. Run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Oh, snappy Christmas salute up the old Starch Broom of the Ranger Dan Gap to you two little
I
wasslers.
did not think you would be in today.
Well, what are you going to do? I thought about it. I've been, doing a whole lot of Christmas partying, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I thought, I might as well come in and maybe share a little bit this little festive holiday, the one day a year where people can get together and just be a little happier, be a little more loving. And,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
tell you, friend, you're looking good there, Jeff. Hey, Heidi.
Ranger Dan.
Santa pretty good to you?
Yes.
Well, Ranger Dan would have been a little better. Part of Christmas, of course, it's about making some memories, and that's for darn sure. And a lot of times those memories come from when you were just a kid at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's certainly a special time for the little ones. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just kind of share a childhood
That'd be
memory.
great. I'd love that.
Mine, what I think was possibly one of my most special Christmases. I was just a little ranger, a little scallywag, growing up there in the woods, and really just learned to walk, maybe say a few simple sentences, and just getting used to that whole potty thing. So I suppose I was maybe 5, possibly 7 years old. Remember gathering around the old tree in our log cabin with the fire roaring there with Ranger Mom and Ranger Dad, Ranger Granny, and my Uncle Stump. Even though I'd asked Santa for a certain gift that year, I sure wasn't guaranteed to see the darn thing, and so I was especially amazed when I unwrapped my very first heavy-duty Duke Company No. 4 coil spring-loaded critter trap.
Ooh.
It was so shiny, so smooth, perfectly oiled. My eyes grew like saucers as I stared at that Duke No. 4 coil spring-loaded critter trap. Couldn't believe my luck.
Nice.
But that wasn't all.
Oh.
Shortly thereafter, Ranger Mom handed me a little box with some little holes punched in the top, and I opened that box, and there was the sweetest little kitty cat I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
My own little kid. I immediately named him Ranger Whiskers and knew that I'd love him forever, and would have if I hadn't tried to play backwoodsman later that day with my brand new spring-loaded trap and Ranger Whiskers now. Well, Ranger Whiskers didn't live a real long life. Oh, no. I like to think he had fun while it lasted.
It's a sad story.
I also learned an important lesson, the old saying, 2 halves make a whole. Necessarily true. Sometimes it just kind of makes a heck of a mess. Thanks a lot for letting me share a Christmas memory with you, little Rangers. I hope as the day goes on, you can certainly... Make memories of your own. Well, till next time, it's your old Ranger Dan out. Say it with me.
Yes, sir.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for Water Cooler Talk with Mr. Dan Farris. It's brought to you right now by SiouxEmpireJobs.com. What do we have, sir?
Seriously? I'm just going to throw it out there because it's Christmas. You're going to have to cut me some slack. I have nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't even bother to look anything. Because if I'm going to disappoint you, it's going to be Christmas morning. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the right day.
No, it's not a disappointment. That means we get to just do this freestyle.
And that's exactly what I kind of had in mind. We had a little glitch in our giddy up here. We were going. We want to thank all the people who registered for the big gift card giveaway.
It was so amazing.
It was huge. I mean, we got a little wrench thrown into the fan with the
was
weather.
a blizzard the other day.
But things work out how things work out.
Wasn't that weird? Because we went from literally people mowing their lawn on Tuesday to shoveling their driveway on Wednesday.
That's the
that
beauty of
happened
South
in Sioux
Dakota.
Falls.
I mean,
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
it's pretty common, and you almost can't even get cranky about it because, we almost did an entire December without even having to
I know.
I know.
grab
We're
a
very,
shovel.
very
And we
blessed.
had some yard work done. We had some trees removed.
Yep.
And they were originally going to do that in January. And then they called back last week and said, hey, can we just come out today? Because we had something changed. And I said, yeah, come on out.
It was awesome.
And I'm glad they got all that stuff done because now, it's winter's here now. So, but that's really, really cool that, sometimes we do get pretty fortunate. And it'd be nice if we just have nice weather all the way till spring now.
Yeah,
But we live in South Dakota,
Yeah.
so.
And it's Christmas morning, and we got a little white, so that's tight,
Yeah.
It's all right.
So
It'd be good if it goes away now, but
since I get
it's
to
nice
do a
have
little
white for
freestyle, I'm
Christmas.
going to ask, do you remember, Dan, what is your favorite Christmas gift you ever have? Is there one that you think back and go, that was the best thing ever?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising because I still, strangely enough, my mother sent me a photo of it not long before she passed, and I was just stunned to see it. I wanted to be a rock and roll star when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I started playing guitar when I was 6, some cheap little acoustic guitar I got my hand on somewhere. This is how long ago this was. I spotted an electric guitar at Montgomery Ward's in Minneapolis.
Oh, Montgomery Ward. More.
that's pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, I've got brothers. Moms didn't work for the most part back then. So, you got dad busting his hump and you're going to get what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And trying to keep 4 or 5 boys clothed at the same time and playing sports and everything else. And the Christmas thing was almost over. All the gifts were open and everything else. And everybody's just kind of catching their breath. And my dad sitting on the sofa, he goes, "Hey, kid." So we all turn around and look at him because
Which kid was
That's all of us.
specific.
There's multiple.
You there, that one, you.
That one.
You.
And it was you?
Yeah, he reaches behind the couch
Oh.
and pulls out that guitar.
Oh, wow.
Mind blown.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was 9 maybe. 8
Did
or
you have
9?
that for quite a while?
I did. And then I upgraded as I got older because I really enjoyed playing and took lessons and everything else. And I slid it to one of my kid brothers.
Where's that guitar now? Do you know?
Last time I saw it, he had it hanging in the garage from a coat hanger. He had taken it apart and he was spray painting it gold. He was literally spray painting it.
Does he still have it?
He does not. I don't know whatever happened to it. But all of a sudden, just a couple of years back, here comes a little letter from my mom and a picture of that guitar, which is now in the guitar case with the guitar I currently own.
That's really cool.
So, yeah, it is kind of neat. Yeah,
That's awesome. Heidi, do you have a memory like one that was your favorite?
The most memorable gift I remember getting was a Snoopy snow cone machine one year.
Yeah, we got you one of those.
Loved it.
Sweet.
Couple
I
years.
loved it.
We got her one of those a couple years ago because I wanted to get in on the Snoopy snow cones, and she's like, "Not as good as I remember."
No, it's not. It's kind of clunky.
Those are kind of cool. Not near as exciting. I couldn't help it. Ranger Dan, his favorite Christmas.
Yeah, that was
Right, I never chopped a cat.
with a
Very
spring
disturbing.
trap and a kitten. And
It's quite disturbing.
memories are memories. It's pretty subjective, I guess.
I guess. Well, make some good ones out there. Merry Christmas to each
What
and every
about
one.
you?
What?
Your favorite gift?
Oh,
You asked us.
I don't really have one.
I know what your most disappointing one
I got-
is because I've heard this story
I got a
every Christmas for the entire time we've been married.
I got a lump of coal every year for like 18 years. So, but in all fairness, I was a pretty rotten kid. Now, thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Christmas Day.
Want to save money? Take the bettercreditcards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. Do it today. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for your bright spot of news, brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine in Sioux Falls. They can brighten any room with a beautiful light fixture. We're going to brighten your holidays right now with an amazing story that you might not know.
What do you know about that? Merry Christmas!
This time of year, you can't flip through the channels without coming across a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life. We actually just watched it on Amazon Prime. For the first time in my life, I watched it in color. This movie stars a guy by the name of Jimmy Stewart. Now, here's the wonderful story that you might not know about It's a Wonderful Life. Just a few months after winning his 1941 Academy Award for Best Actor in a movie called The Philadelphia Story, Jimmy Stewart, one of the best-known actors of the day, left Hollywood, and he joined the U.S. Army. He was the first big-name movie star to enlist in World War II. Now, he was an accomplished private pilot. He was 33 years old at the time, and he became a U.S. Army Air Force aviator. He earned his second lieutenant commission in early 1942. With his huge celebrity status and huge popularity with the American public, he was assigned to star in recruitment films and go out and attend rallies and train younger pilots. But Jimmy Stewart didn't want to do that. He wanted to fly combat missions in Europe, not spend his time stateside.
I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world.
By 1944, frustrated and feeling the war was passing him by, he asked his commanding officer to transfer him to a unit deployed to Europe. His request was granted.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Stewart, now a captain, was sent to England, where he spent the next 18 months flying B-24 Liberator bombers over Germany. Throughout his time overseas, the U.S. Air Corps top brass tried to keep the popular movie star from flying over enemy territory. But Stewart would hear nothing of it. Determined to lead by example, he bucked the system and assigned himself to every combat mission he could. By the end of the war, he was one of the most respected and most decorated pilots in his unit. But his wartime service came at a high personal price. In the final months of World War II, he was grounded for being what's called flak happy. Today we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. So when he returned to the United States in August of 1945, Jimmy Stewart was a changed man. He lost so much weight he looked sickly. He rarely slept, and when he did, he had nightmares of planes exploding and men falling through the air screaming. In one mission alone, he'd lost 13 planes and 130 men, most of whom he knew personally. Jimmy Stewart was depressed. He couldn't focus. He refused to talk to anyone about his experiences in the war. His acting career was all but over. One of Stewart's biographers put it this way: every decision he made during the war was going to preserve life or cost life. He took back to Hollywood all the stresses he had built up. So in 1946, he got his big break.
Hello, Bedford Falls!
He took the role as George Bailey, the suicidal father in a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life. The rest, as they say, is history.
Merry Christmas, you wonderful Billy and Lou!
But what you may not know is actors and crew on the set realized that in many of the disturbing scenes, George Bailey unraveling in front of his family or at the bar,
Dear Father in heaven,
Stewart wasn't acting. His PTSD was captured on film.
I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope.
Despite Stewart's inner turmoil, making the movie was therapeutic for the combat veteran. He would go on to become one of the most accomplished and loved actors in American history. When asked in 1941 why he wanted to leave his acting career to fly combat missions over Nazi Germany, he said, "This country's conscience is bigger than all of the studios in Hollywood put together. And the time will come when we'll have to fight." While fighting in Europe, Stewart's Oscar statue was proudly displayed in his father's Pennsylvania hardware store. Throughout his life, the beloved actor always said his father, a World War I veteran, was the person who had made the biggest impact on him.
Toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Jimmy Stewart was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1985. And sadly, we lost Jimmy Stewart in 1997 at the age of 89. So as you flip through the channels this long holiday weekend, you'll probably see a little movie called It's a Wonderful Life.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
Whether you watch it or not,
That's right.
in black and white or in color,
Attaboy, Clan.
I hope you'll remember the wonderful man who made a sacrifice, Jimmy Stewart, and all of the men and women who gave up so much to serve their country, many of whom are serving right now, and they're missing Christmas with their family. To each and every one of them, and to you, Merry Christmas from Sunny Radio.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Time now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Because celebrities are fabulous. And they're just a little extra shiny at Christmas time.
They are.
They are.
Super sparkly.
We talked a little bit about our favorite Christmases just a moment ago. You know, mine was, I think that guitar I got surprised with was, I don't know, maybe $40, $50 at Montgomery Ward's 100 years ago. It is what it is. It's subjective. So you may be asking yourself, how do celebrities give their significant others? What does that mean? So I actually went through my extensive files because I've been on the celebrity beat for quite some time, and I happen to know these things. How would this grab you? David Beckham, married to Posh Spice, right? Victoria Beckham.
He's a soccer player.
For Christmas, not this one, but for Christmas one year, presented her with an entire vineyard.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
I don't think he wrapped it. Here you go. Make your own wine.
Yes.
Have some fun.
Find something to do over here.
Make your own wine.
One of the strangest unions probably in celebrity world, and maybe not because they're no longer married, but when Katy Perry was married to Russell Brand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was bizarre.
She laid out $200,000 for a little Christmas spiff for Russie by buying him a first-class, maybe this was a hint on her part, a first-class Virgin Galactic ticket to outer space.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
$200,000.
So he's been to outer space now?
Well,
I don't think they're doing them
no,
yet.
they haven't done it yet, John.
Oh.
Watch the news, right? We'd know.
I really don't watch the news.
Maybe he gave it back. I have no idea.
Huh.
Jay-Z and Bouncy.
Beyonce.
They got a couple of bucks. Jay-Z said, Merry Christmas, honey. Here's your very own $20 million private island.
Oh, wow.
I want an island.
Well, I'll get
Don't
you
you
one.
love me like
Wow.
I will get you an island. Your choice. Grand Island?
Well,
Or
you
would
know,
like Thousand Island dressing.
Kanye West and
Yes.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
This is no kidding. One Christmas, Kanye, this is actually kind of cool, bought Kim 10 Burger King franchises in the UK, France, and Italy. She owns Burger Kings.
I wonder why in
It's
the
a
world.
true story.
Why would you do that?
She
I
must
wonder?
really
Maybe
like
she
Burger
dug
King.
Burger King. I don't know. Worked out great for Tom Walsh.
Yeah, I suppose.
On the other hand, she once gifted him, and he's a big basketball freak, Kanye, got his favorite NBA players together with some of his best friends and let them play basketball together, then threw a little party. She leased out Staples Center. Evident.
A little party.
That's where the Lakers play, by the way. And for the afternoon at the Staples Center, just that price tag alone was $110,000.
Isn't that crazy?
Ow.
That is just amazing to me.
And when they were still together, Angelina Jolie, because she's kind of cool, bought Brad Pitt his very own waterfall in California.
You can own a waterfall?
Well, land that
You
has
can
a
buy
waterfall
anything
on
if
it,
the price is right. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody owns land that Niagara Falls is on, and somebody owns land that the falls in Sioux Falls is on.
I think the most I ever laid out for Christmas, and it actually would have been last year, and it was totally my idea, and I was totally cool with it. And when you look at what these people do, it was nothing. But I picked up all the expenses, airfare for my son.
Yeah.
Out of Oregon all the way down to Tallahassee. Everything's on me. So I'm going to spend a week with my daughter down there and everything else. And it was so awesome. At one point I looked at Sadie and said, so you know, your brother here, that's my gift to you. To which he said, yeah, well aware, Dad.
Can I return it?
Thanks, Dad.
I brought you your brother for Christmas.
Now, that was a cool thing to do. And it sounds like you guys had a blast last year, too.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
My favorite was Heidi helped you line up the airfare and the travel arrangements. And
Oh, if people don't know, Heidi Jean is not only a notary, but she's also a travel agent.
Yeah, she's
I was
amazing.
dialing around for flights last year, trying to, and all of a sudden she took over. And 2
Oh, yeah.
hours later, she said, "Okay, here's what you're going to do." Because what she found me was probably $200 or $300 less than the best I was doing.
Yeah, she's good.
What I didn't know is I was going to get a tour of the entire United States.
Just the lower 48.
And she had a copy of my itinerary, and it would be so funny because I'd be in some airport just kind of lost, and I'd get a text going, "You should be here now.
Look for terminal this.
If you need help, find an adult." It was awesome.
Well, Dan, thank you for spending Christmas with us today.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, man. All the best.
Absolutely. Again, it is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Christmas Day.
Want to save money? Take the bettercreditcards.com challenge. It's simple and free, and you could save money every single month. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and see what you get for points or perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you get a better credit card. Do it today. bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, December 25th, 2020. Merry Christmas. The S&P 500 made a modest gain on Thursday to close out the holiday week with barely any movement at all. The broad market index appears to be waiting for its next cue and could come at any time. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and NASDAQ Composite both closed in a similar position, with all three trading at recently set all-time high levels. Next week, traders need to be on the lookout because the market may not stay quite so quiet. The stimulus bill is headed to President Trump's desk, and there's still no indication whether or not he'll sign it. Even if he does sign it, the market could be faced with a sell the news event. Key events for the week that are not politically driven include Chicago Purchasing Managers Index, pending home sales, and initial jobless claims. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.